You're almost there. The end of the year is approaching and you want your business to finish strong, right? Definitely stick around to the end because I'm going to share a story about a client who went from 1,000 a month to 3 million a year in a very short amount of time. And we used a revenue model to help her make that happen. All right, you ready? Got your pen, got your paper? Let's go. First, create a revenue model for next year. When I say revenue model, does that make you like sick to your stomach? Because if it does, I totally get it. Most of our clients in the beginning tell me one thing: Ursula, I hate the numbers. I don't want a revenue model. And I get that. I totally feel you on it. But here's the thing: without a revenue model, you do not have a plan. Without the numbers, you don't have a plan. A revenue model is a map that tells you exactly how you're going to grow your business over the next year. And here's a secret. And I'm going to talk more about this in a moment. A revenue model is like a magnet that pulls business to you. So we'll get there. So second, once you have your revenue model, right, you have to work backward from the end result, which is going to tell you everything that's going to happen in your business in the next year. And I'm saying this and you're probably thinking, yeah, right, Ursula, it's not going to tell me everything. It is. And when I share the client story with you, you're going to be blown away on how one revenue model helped a client blow her numbers away. And she was amazed. She was surprised. So working backward from the revenue model starts with knowing what the number is. And this can be challenging as well. Like even in this moment, I want you to think about your next year. What's the number? Because you have one. What's the revenue number that you've been dreaming about? What's the number that you're like, I wake up in the middle of the night and think, oh my gosh, it would just be so great if my business could do X amount in revenue. That number, not the one that you step back to or that you edit or that you think, oh no, I can't do that. I want you to write down the number that you really want for the next 12 months. Then we start to reverse engineer it. So just so you understand and you're clear, if you haven't heard of a revenue model, I get it. I didn't know what a revenue model is until someone taught me. A revenue model shows you the next 12 months of revenue that your business is going to produce. We can call that projections as well. You're projecting out the next 12 months and you're choosing a number for each month. So for example, and I know a lot of you want this, if you want $1 million business, that's $83,333 a month. Okay? That is the number that would go at the top in every month. And then we're working backward from what it's going to take to reach that number every single month. What are the costs that are involved, right? And then what's the net income every month? So that's how you work backwards from the bigger picture. Third, and here's what's really important. Having a revenue model is like having a magnet that just draws opportunity and clients to you. Now, this might be a little bit of a quantum conversation, which we don't have time for today, but I will say this. There's something about putting it on paper that seems to allow synchronicities to happen in your business and in your life. It seems like the right person shows up, or suddenly those ideal clients that you've been dreaming about start to show up in your business. And it's not that you're just like, oh, I'm going to finish the revenue model, I'm going to sit back and put my feet up. No. You're putting it together and then you're watching for the opportunities. You're taking inspired action. You're living outside your comfort zone. You're doing whatever you need to do, and you're also paying attention to what's showing up around you. One of our clients that I wanted to share with you was at $1,000 a month. $1,000 a month. Not a lot of revenue. And when I met her, she was really struggling. And we had a, eyeball to eyeball conversation. And she said to me, Ursula, I want a 7-figure business. I hear that a lot. A lot of people say, I want a 7-figure business. Most people aren't willing to do what it takes to have a 7-figure business. So they're not willing to get the support they need to have a 7-figure business. But when this client looked me in the eye, I felt something different with her. I could feel her desire to make that happen. And not only was her business not where she wanted it to be, but there were other challenges that should have stopped her. There were other challenges in terms of her personal life and other blocks that could have stopped her in her tracks, and I think would have stopped a lot of other people, but they didn't stop her. She came to one of our courses and then enrolled in one of our coaching programs. And one day we were lucky enough to sit in a conference room together to build her first 7-figure revenue model. And I remember she said to me, she's like, I'm not even sure I can type in the number. So we did it together. A year later, she had surpassed 7 figures in her business. And it happened so quickly, but I remember getting an email from her saying, "You're never going to believe this. Look at the amount of revenue I did in 1 month." And I said, "Well, what did your revenue model project that you were going to do?" And she dug out her revenue model, and sure enough, it was the exact number that she'd put on her revenue model. Now, again, it wasn't like she didn't do the work. It wasn't like she didn't live out of her comfort zone. It wasn't like she didn't, do all the things she needed to do to grow her business and then some. But I credit her fast growth, her fast success to having a clear path on what she wanted to create over those 12 months. And then each piece fell into place. So I just want to review what we covered already. We talked about the importance of creating a revenue model for the next year, about getting really clear on what that revenue number is and not editing, and then working backwards from the end result of what you want to create. And then we also talked about how powerful it is to have a revenue model because it's like a magnet that just brings in opportunities and new clients. And then I shared the story about my client, but here's what I want to say to you. This client isn't special. This client is just like you. She's just like where you might be sitting right now in your business and the struggle you feel. And so I want to share a pro tip with you. And this is something we share with our clients when they're ready to take a quantum leap in their revenue growth. And while this might seem like a simple thing, I don't want you to underestimate its power. Once you've completed your 12-month revenue plan, I want you to take 1 month. And for example, let's say you take the month of January and your revenue goal is $83,333. I want you to reverse engineer the month. We call that creating a model month template because it shows you exactly where the revenue is going to come from. So let me use a simple math example. Let's say it's $10,000 a month that you want to be at. Your average sale is $1,000. That tells me that you need 10 sales every single month, right, to reach your goal of 10,000. And then I would dig deeper into that. How many qualified appointments or prospects do you need to connect with, right, to reach that goal, to close enough sales? If your closing ratio is 50%, we would say that you need to have 20 qualified appointments to get there. Do you see how I'm digging into this? So I invite you to do the same. Take out that pen and paper and do the math for your own model month. What would you sell? How much would you sell of each service or product that you offer? And then take it even deeper and ask yourself, what's the fastest and easiest way for me to connect with the prospects who are an excellent fit for my business? So once you have your model month template and you have the numbers, then the question to ask is, what's the fastest and easiest way to get there? Now, there have been some really great studies that have been done, and I've heard this from Brian Tracy, renowned sales trainer, and many others who use what I call the 50 ideas process. And that's to challenge yourself to come up with 50 ways to reach your monthly stretch goal that you just created on your template. And when you ask the question like this, what's the fastest and easiest way to get there? Immediately, your subconscious mind starts to come up with ideas. Now, this could take some time. You might come up with 10 ideas really quickly, and then you might have to dig in a little bit more. What I can tell you, though, is pushing yourself to come up with 50 ideas. Yes, it's going to stretch you, but you will find gold on this list. And I want to reassure you of one thing. If you have the desire, like truly the desire to reach this revenue goal, the way to get there already exists around you. It might not seem like it. You might feel like you're running into a wall. It's like, I have no idea how I would get there. But when you come up with the 50 ideas and you start to narrow it down to your top 20 and then your top 10 and then your top 5, you'll start to see that there's gold on this list. I find that when you get to your top 5, that's probably the fastest and easiest way to get to your goal. Again, probably go to a coffee shop or get out of your house or get out of your office so that you're not, distracted by anything around you, and allow those ideas to really flow through. If you like this video, I've got another one for you, so stick around. We're going to talk about the 5 biggest mistakes that entrepreneurs make. And I want to remind you, your 2X is waiting for you too.